Learn how to create a pie chart using Plotly.js by mapping category labels and their corresponding values. In this lesson, we want to look at how you can create pie charts using the Plotly.js library. So let's move on. And first thing I want us to do is what I already added in this HTML part of my code. So it's just an empty div that has an ID, and it also has a style with two properties, a width and a max width, so as to control the size of that pie chart on our screen. So having done that, let's move inside the script section. And in order to create pie chart, so we are going to need two different information. One is going to be what you want on the x-axis and what you want on the y-axis. I will now transform it into what is called a pie chart. So let's move on and create the first x-axis array, first x array. So you can name it anything. Just make sure it is descriptive to describe what you are talking about. So let's put a list of maybe states or city rather, anyone. Then put California, combination of state and city. Then put San Francisco, Atlanta, Ottawa. So now I have the information for my x-axis. So let me add y for y-axis as well. And inside it, just put random numbers 76, 87, 36, and 31. So now that I have this, it's time for me to now add a layout. That is the title that I want my pie charts to have. So turn it into variable, make a layout variable. Then inside it, what do you want as your title? So just add it. So you can put any information, worldwide wine production, or anything. Or since there's New York, let me say biggest casinos centers in the world. You can put anything as your title. So now, once you are done with that, it's now time to set your data. That is the information that you want to display on your pie chart, because Plotly is going to, generate the pie chart, but you are still going to be the one to put information that you want on it. So let's make another variable and call it data. And inside this data, let's turn it into an array and put object information inside this. Number one, we want to add a label. Labels. And this label is going to be what we have in our X array. Then add value. And our value should be what we have inside our Y array. And then add type. What do we want? We want a pie chart. If you want to buy, you put bar, but because we want a pie chart, the values is actually going to be pi. And now that I've done this, just call on the library. So call on the library function and call new plot. Then once you do this, you can then pass in every other thing. Pass the ID of where you want the pie chart to show. That is my plot. Then pass in the data. Then it will change shape. And finally, pass in the layout. And now look at it. We have a beautiful pie chart that is generated with the Plotly.js library. Biggest casino centers in the world: San Francisco, California, New York, Ottawa, and Atlanta. So we have each of these information on the y-axis being represented in each of the boxes. You can see this is the largest and this is the smallest. So this allows us to, this library allows us to, to draw, allow us to draw and visualize a circular pie chart and Plotly automatically color each country slice. Calculate exactly what percentage of the total circle each slice represents. So this color, you can see we are not setting it anywhere here. It is because this Plotly library is the one that is automatically uh, coloring each of the country slides. So it calculates the exact percentage of the total cycle and then represent what each slice represents and create an interactive legend on the side of the chart. So this is what is called legend. It is denoted by the color and the name of the country. So looking at this example, you can see how easy it is to create a pie chart using this plotly.js library. So basically looking at our code, what we are basically doing here is that in this data, we are saying, okay, label takes the X array. For pie chart, Plotly uses the label parameter instead of X to identify the text tag for each slice of the pie. And then the Y array, Plotly uses value parameter instead of Y to input the numeric amount. So the library add all these numbers that we have, 45, 76, 87, etc. and calculates the total. And from that total, it then calculates each country's exact percentage share. And once it does that, then it displays it on the screen. And you see also that we also have type to the pie. So this parameter switches Plotly rendering engine from drawing rectangular bars to drawing circular segmented wedges. And lastly, the Plotly.newplot part draws the interactive pie chart inside the myplot container. So if you open any slice in the browser, a tooltip appears. You can see display the raw value and the calculated percentage. You can see San Francisco now will show as 87 and 32.8%, which is the largest among the cities information that we have. Now, here are a few key takeaways from this lesson. Number one, remember that pie charts in Plotly do not use X and Y axis. Instead, they require labels for text and values for numbers. Number two, you do not need to calculate percentages yourself. Plotly calculates them automatically and show them when you over the slices. And lastly, Plotly automatically builds an interactive legend on the side. Clicking on the country's name in the legend will dynamically hide or show its slice in the pie.